Yeah, hi, I'm Ted. I'm with Off Grid Build. Here's my house that I've spent about 20 years building, and we've recently sold it because our family is moving to a different location. So I thought it'd be nice to give all the viewers a last parting shot of the house that I've lived in and built for 20 years. So let's go. This is just the general overview of the house, and then a little shed that I built off of the garage. This shed is kind of interesting. It's about 3 courses of rammed earth tires, and then a bunch of 5/8 rebar bent and embedded in a couple concrete bond beams, and then lathed, and then about 7 or 8 coats of plaster, a lot like the typical dome or vault Earthship construction. It's uninsulated, but it's just a shed to keep bikes and shovels and picks and other tools in. And so, as you can see, it doesn't have an airtight door, but just some salvaged wood to make a door. So we do use propane. This 120-gallon propane tank lasts almost 10 months. Our biggest load is because we still have a propane refrigerator that one day my plan was to upgrade my solar system and replace my refrigerator with an electric, efficient electric refrigerator, either an efficient AC or DC fridge. But since we sold the house, I'm not going to do that. But really our biggest load with propane is the fridge, and then we cook every night and morning, and but that lasts about 10 months. So our utility bills, propane being about $250 a gallon, they fill it up at 80%. We usually get about 100 gallons, so our propane bill is about a little less than $250 a year. Because hot water is heated by solar. So there's a wind generator that I have for when it's windy at night and the sun's not shining. But I have it tied up. I've never enjoyed the noise of it. And next time I do a wind generator, I'll make sure to put it on its own mast, at least 100, maybe 100 feet away from the house. Or maybe I won't do it at all. With the price of solar now, it's pretty inexpensive. And there's part of the solar array up there. And then there's more panels on the house. And so then I also built a garage. It's kind of a hybrid Earthship, 6 courses of rammed earth tires, and then about 3 or 4 feet of framed, heavily insulated framed with rigid insulation on the outside. Not a huge amount of solar gain, but it never does freeze in there, even when it's -18 outside. Because it's partially buried, but has garage doors on the north side. And all the landscaping is made out of bottles or cans set in masonry mortar, even the retaining walls here. And above that is a tire retaining wall, and this has always created a really nice planter. Well, this is the north side of the building, this is the garage. So if I were to do it again, I would put doors with glass on the south side, but just the approach of my site here did not allow me to do that. So I have doors on the north side. They're insulated, but not very well. But inside, well, we're in the moving process, so the garage is a bit packed, but I have a Mercedes that I converted to run on straight Veggie oil, and I just cleaned the Veggie oil tank this weekend. So I'm selling this car. But this is the Veggie oil tank. I salvaged my old Bosch air compressor for my nail gun. Made a Veggie oil tank. It's got a heat exchanger inside from the antifreeze lines, which get hot, and it recycles in air, heats up the Veggie oil. That gets pumped through a filter to a pump, goes through to the front of the engine to another heat exchanger and filter, and then I can switch over to Veggie oil once the Veggie oil is heated up from starting on diesel. So this has been my project for a few years, and it runs great. In here is where we do solar welding. it's just a welder that runs off of solar power, a little MIG welder. I mean, this is a wire feed welder. So you turn the welder on. This is a grounding clamp. It's clogged, but there's a wire that comes out, and that's your feed for wire right there. There's shielding gas that comes out, and the argon mixed gas, just to keep oxygen from sputtering your weld. You hit this, and electrical current comes through, and you can weld, weld things together. I don't have a plasma cutter. You can weld with this as well, but so this is a torch where I can cut that steel, or I can cut thick plate steel such as this, or thicker. I cut that. I can cut, I've cut these with the torch. You see all those lines there. Basically, it just blows it through, The most recent project Sunday evening with my 5-year-old was this guy. He doesn't have a name yet. But I have a little MIG welder that we can run off of our solar system to weld and cut and grind. And we just try to find old parts and pieces from engines or saw blades or transmissions and typewriters, machinery, and make different things out of that. This is actually a little bank. So it's the next level of a piggy bank. So it's a flying bug bank. So this is just another little shed that's built out of tires, rammed earth tires, and all the ceiling's pretty much all the scrap wood. It should have drywall on it for fire protection, but we don't do a lot of big fire stuff. But so in here we just make metal craft, bells out of an old scuba tank, marshmallow roasters, you name it, we make it in here for fun. So here we are in the courtyard. It's full of trees, and I've built a patio off of the east side of the house. I don't need a lot of solar gain on the east side, but the patio is a nice protected space where we can eat and have dinner and barbecue under cover and have a great view of the mountains here. And so this is just the outside patio and courtyard with a lot of established vegetation, drought-tolerant trees, native locusts, and some Russian olives, which are not native, and native sunflowers. It's that time of the year. And I've also built some Earthship style sheds to work in and store some equipment and motorcycles in, because there's a lot of great riding around here. So, well, let's go in. This is the entryway to the house. Stone steps from the excavation of the house. This is the patio, and outside fireplace for chilly nights. I've never hooked it up. It hasn't been finished. But I've used local wood from our local mill to build the patio space roof, and constructed all my own concrete pavers over the years, little by little, a few at a time. I made a formwork and dyed them. And out here is little fire pit area. With some burnables ready to go, some benches. It's getting a little overrun with some of the flowers. We've had some good monsoon rains this year. And these patio walls are made out of pounded tires up to this high, and then straw bales above that, all plastered, stucco netted and plastered. And to give it a little privacy and to block the springtime winds that we get here. And as you can see, this is the part of the solar greenhouse for the house, where the sunlight comes in to heat up the interior of the house. Well, let's go in and see the inside. An example of a very custom home. There's a lot more simple homes here, but you know, I took a lot of liberties in this type of build, this Earthship that I've built. Broke some of the rules.